I'm Brittany, this is Lanjan, and welcome back for more Alien Stage. Today is Viga. I've only been looking forward to this for weeks now, and haven't been able to react to it and take a deeper look at it because I was sick. But we're back now, and so I'm going to immediately dive in. This will be a reaction to the MV, and then I will go back through it frame by frame for the most part and see what I can pull apart and dig into after a first viewing. And actually a second viewing. I will watch it once off screen so that I can have a more solid foundation for when we finally dig in. This is a brand new universe to me. If you are new here and you haven't watched one of these reaction deep divey videos from me before, I am brand new. I have not read the Master Doc yet. I'm saving that until after I finish this season, and then I will flesh out everything from there. There will be videos for the Master Doc. So I'm diving into all of this blind and going off of what I have been able to piece together. And you guys have been very helpful in correcting me when I'm clearly wrong about something and encouraging me to just see what I can figure out, see what comes to me, see what meaning I can take from things, because I love that this was put together with so much intention. This will be lightly edited because I have a lot of anxiety around editing, and editing a video like this that's going to likely just be an hour of me talking is a bit overwhelming. So this will be a little bit more like a live stream situation and be lightly edited. So here we fucking go. Tell me about Ivan. Oh. Speaking of obsession.
그새 초라한 다른 꿈을 꾸나 고요하게 내리는 차디찬 시선
Huh? A duet? Oh my god. Is this a fucking waltz?
갈망에 젖은 날개 겨울에 펼쳐 손바닥만큼도 못한 새싹처럼 부스러진 슬픔이 춤추고 무던하게 새벽을 깨려 할 때
많이 미워했어. 나는 매 시간 다음으로 나아가야 하는데 그랬는데 네가 내 유일한 약점이었지. 그래서 네가 너무 미웠어. 루카, 사랑하며 살아. 아픔도 나약함도 못 봐주게 부끄러운 순간들도 받아들여. 스스로를 용서해. 몇 번이고 몇 번이고 모든
What?
그때부터 시작이야.
What? What? That my entire understanding of like everything has just been thoroughly rearranged. How much information can you shove into 4.5 minutes? Hyuna's dead. Oh, what is happening? Oh my God. I might have to watch that twice before again, so that will have seen it 3 times before I even try to pull apart everything that just happened. No, the I could speak. The juxtaposition of beauty and connection that they are finding amidst abject fucking horror and death and subjugation and disease alone is too much. But now I've got to go in and rearrange my brain cells about so many different characters and relationships. I'll be right back. And we're back. I watched it twice. I even revisited parts of All In because I wanted the firmest foundation possible. And while I think I have a handle on it, there's also some questions I have and some things that I want to talk through, which is what this is for. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Apparently Hyuna and Mizi, like Mizi was coming for Till. She was coming to try to rescue Till. Hyuna, who we thought was coming for revenge on Luka, no, she was also coming to save Till. And it didn't work out. Let's get into it. Okay. You can't really tell what he's thinking at the moment until he breaks out into that smile. And you're like, oh, everybody's obsessed with each other in this show. But then, like, why wouldn't you be? And Hyuna has been caught. This hasn't worked at all. And now she's had a cloak put over her head and she's being led off. Not that Luka notices any of this. Not that Luka cares. He sees her and he sees her. That's all he gives a shit about. Like, his brain just switches to just pure Hyuna in a very, like, innocent way that we're not expecting from someone who's been so conniving and been playing the game effectively but ruthlessly in the name of his survival. He's only stopped by a gun to his head. There is a gun to his head that says, do not fucking go near her. And my brain was already fully broken, and we're like 20 seconds into this unbelievable context shift. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, he's obsessed with her in a similar way that Ivan is obsessed with Till, that Till is obsessed with Mizi. Everybody is in love with everybody else. Everybody's obsessed or in love with everybody else. And for understandable reasons that we'll actually get into when there's that fucking gorgeous and so deeply emotional orchestral part, it makes sense as to why these people in such insane circumstances would all develop these mutual intense feelings about each other. He doesn't even care that there's a gun to his head. And then it smash cuts to this. Okay, he looks traumatized. And first of all, I also noticed that Hyuna is singing this part, but we have Luka footage. So it's like she's singing, and also it's a duet. So, you know, but Hyuna is singing this to him, and then he will then come in over footage of Hyuna. So it's like they are comforting each other. Luka and Hyuna are comforting each other in this fucking song. So he looks here very, this isn't sadistic. Nothing about this reads sadistic. It's very shocked, traumatized, either at what he's done because he's shocked at what he's done. He's also, those were tears, right? Yeah, he's also crying. So he's clearly either shocked with horror at what he impulsively did, or he's unbelievably sad because he killed them so that they wouldn't have to live like this. Those are the only two possibilities that can come up with my mind. Remembering off the top of my head what we see later, I'm thinking it might be the former. Like he has such violent impulses, but it's like, it's almost like he doesn't have control. It's like he's really acting out. Maybe even to the point of blacking out when it happens. Him reaching, it looks like he's reaching for like a handle, like an emergency, like he's pulling the emergency handle, and then two aliens, guards, show up. Yeah, so they show up right at that last second. Hang on, let me get there. Thank you. And this just sets the whole thing off with the abrupt editing. I mean, really, that smash cut to Luka was really the kickoff of the abrupt editing. But then it's followed up. Wow, see? It's so easy to miss that, yeah. So were they, okay, so these two aliens, they're moving for him. The one on the left is moving for him. The one on the right is looking at what's been done. Which kind of goes either way for as to if he killed him on impulse, or if he did have a specific motive of, at least this way, they won't have to live this, which again, I'm leaning towards the former. So, and it smash cuts to this right when it says, in your dreams, you'll run and play. And the way that they all idealize and look back so fondly on their time in the garden, like this was the one pretty place, even though it was fake. Like they do a really good job of, they usually show you the corners of this sky in the garden. So whenever they have shots, wide shots in the garden, they usually remind you that it's fake, but it's still the only place of joy that they really have, even though it can still be horrifying sometimes. And so this is being equated with a dream-like, fantasy-like, heavenly place to be in your dreams. And he's sitting there all alone. I think he's trying to teach himself how to count. In paradise. This is paradise for them. The closest thing they ever had to paradise. And it looks like here, this is what I mean, that he's trying to teach himself how to count. And again, that happens so fast. And she, pardon me for a cough. The cough is lingering from being sick and therefore unable to film a lot of things over the past couple of weeks. So pardon me if there's an occasional cough. So yeah, he's trying to teach himself how to count. That's the only thing that I can really think of. And in comes Hyuna to help him, is what it looks like. And it goes up to her. Is that her brother standing behind her? Back when he was alive? It doesn't quite look like the right skin tone. No, he's just standing in the sunlight. I think that would probably be her. So she just came up to him when he was all alone. In paradise. This is interesting. Trying to suss out where exactly Hyuna is in these flashbacks is going to be a cute trick. That's going to be part of the big thing that I'm trying to suss out here. Because there's clearly been an explosion. There's a drain on the floor. She does have a top on, but clearly she's in someplace. Is there, with the bottles and everything, some sort of attack? There's blood. I think they're doing their best to show me the day that she lost her leg. I am somehow being just too dense to pick up on like the details at a glance, because I make a point of not pausing during rewatches, because that's the point of me sitting here and going through it now. So I don't want to give myself an advantage in that way. And she flashes like she's thinking of him, and thinking of him beautiful and on stage, winning, as we can see up here. Yeah, and it says Luka win. As she's in tremendous fucking pain. Ugh. Trying to move, can't. Collapsing. I'm going to go back for a couple seconds just to pick up on the lyrics. See if there was anything different. No, it was just the gentle now, go to sleep. And somewhere in that moment, oh, flash to him, flash to her brother. They have very similar eyes. I'm sad now. um, Somewhere in the moment. And now it's like she's sitting here because she already has the prosthetic. It's like she's sitting here in the dark, drunkenly reminiscing either about Luka and her brother or losing her leg. Actually, could be all three. This could be a really dark night for her. She's been throwing darts at something, but it's deliberately impossible to read. I don't think the swooping letter in the script is familiar. Give me just 1 second to make sure that I'm recording. Yes, thank you. I can get paranoid about these things. It just looks like an awful night of remembering. I would kill to know what the heck she's been throwing darts at. There's more, couple of pages down here, wine bottles. But it doesn't look like she has wine at the moment. It looks like she has some kind of clear liquor. And so we're getting drunk to cope. Somewhere in that moment, the lonely moon will dream. Let me go back for a second. Yeah, go to sleep. He's singing to her, gentle now, go to sleep. And somewhere in that moment when you're asleep, the lonely moon will dream. But then they cut to her having people around her. But given how she was just alone in the dark, that makes me obviously think that she is the lonely moon. But she will dream, oh, these two cute boys. And, oh God, what's his name? Jesus, I can't remember his name. Right, and she has community around her as part of the rebellion and the resistance and the humans who have managed to get away and live freely entirely off the grid. And like, she's found joy, but the lyrics in this moment are like, the lonely moon will dream of, oh, see, that all happens very quickly. I think that was the completion of the sentence. The lonely moon will dream. Go to sleep and the lonely moon will dream. And it feels like the suggestion is dream of the community after you fall asleep, drunkenly remembering a lot of really awful shit. Go back. I've also got to make sense of this fight too, but I need to go back for a second to, yeah. Okay. So what are all the outlines here? Oh, it's the garden. And that is unmistakably Luka. They did a really good job making his eyelashes very, very noticeable. And I'm still going backwards. Sorry. Okay. That was the last thing we saw from, that was the last thing I paused on. And because it's hard to tell how successfully I'm skimming. There we go. Now, what is she thinking of here? And it's like images projected onto her. This guy is calling for someone. This might be her brother. That with the braid reminds me of Mizi with long hair. And then it changes to this shot that we saw of the garden, and Luka seems to be fond. But then, and that would be the brother. Smiling when he shouldn't be, because when he's bleeding from the head, he's dead. Oh, and then Mizi, still with long hair, so still flashing to when Mizi kind of the early days of Mizi being in the resistance. So somewhere in the early days, they had a disagreement. Mizi and Hyuna. A silent, icy gaze. Mizi's clearly, obviously the upset one. Hyuna just seems to be trying to talk to her. Is Hyuna the silent, icy gaze? She doesn't seem entirely icy. Huh. Is this, oh, no, I know what the silent, icy gaze is. Yeah, but hang on. Is this just Mizi telling Hyuna what happened to her on the alien stage and really conveying, because she would be telling Hyuna in this moment about like how she failed, about what Luka did, about the tactic that Luka pulled. And that would be deeply relevant to what's happening in this video if this is the moment when Mizi is emotional with like, he deliberately provoked me about Sua and I could not handle it and I was going to die because Luka pulled this tactic. A silent icy gaze falls upon us really says the gaze of the oppressor. So the aliens, the gaze, the stare of the viewers watching the alien stage. An icy gaze falls upon us. Oh, see, and she looks sad there and conflicted, just in apparently caring about Luka and hearing of the things that he's done in the name of survival. And then this butterfly, this gray butterfly on this fence in this city. What a curious shot. And then here, like a fragile reed. Hang on, let me get the full lyric. An icy gaze falls upon us. And then like a fragile reed, he is ill in some respect. That's the only thing I'm getting from this. There's some instruments here, a syringe here. So he could be ill. He could also just be getting like poked, prodded, tested, studied as well. Like a fragile reed. Like a fragile reed, trembling in fear of the icy gaze. And then he is looking so intently at this poster of her. He is so fixated. And I love, actually, first of all, I love the shadow that they have cutting across like her forehead. It pulls our focus in to exactly her face so that we can register that really quickly. That really helps us out. Thank you so much. But then I also love how they so quickly, how it's so quick, it's so fast. How he has that weird movement closer. Like he can't be close enough. Like there's no such thing. And now we get a good look at his room. The two cameras that are always watching him could also be an icy gaze. It looks like a trophy sitting right down here. A solved Rubik's Cube. This looks like a model, and he's got blueprints. It's his plans. Look at that. That's the stage. He's sorting out his movements. He's planning shit. Oh, that's a model of the stage. He even has a model of the stage to plan out performances. And obviously with the Rubik's Cube, he is fucking smart. I think this on this monitor, or maybe it's just another something else that's affixed to the wall. It's her again. It's the same shot of Hyuna. It's Hyuna's wanted poster. And there are more wanted posters on the ground. Yeah, I think it's littered with, the floor is littered with Hyuna wanted posters. And yet he's fixated on this one and he still can't get close enough. So many books piled up underneath the solved Rubik's Cube. He's still being monitored health-wise. And at first, the walls were kind of giving padded walls, but they actually don't look padded. It looks more like concrete walls. And a large window, almost like for viewing and observation purposes. So a lot of this speaks to what we would kind of expect. He's the tactician. He plots and plans on his next performance and how he can best defeat said opponents. And he's also incredibly fucking smart with the solving of the Rubik's Cube. And all piled on top of all the books, like they're very much communicating logical puzzle solver. And then this is really giving trophy down under here. Is this his trophy from winning a previous round of the alien stage? And if there's only one, did he win the previous tournament? And then this is his second tournament that he's now won. So he should be getting a second one right there. There are flowers in this clear crystal box that are curious. They seem vaguely familiar, but I can't quite place them. He also has music CDs with this computer monitor situation piled on top. It looks like a bunch of music. And down here, it looks like not books. It looks like a bunch of tapes, which would make sense if he's watching previous performances and doing what he can to learn from them. But then there's also this unplugged monitor over here. That's interesting. It's the flowers, though. The flowers in this. Did Hyuna have some kind of flower moment? Why are these seeming vaguely familiar? Maybe I'll remember. But yeah, absolutely obsessed and fixated on Hyuna. But as we've seen, it's in a very like innocent way. It's like any goodness and gentleness for Luka has been funneled down to Hyuna. And she has become like the one source of safety and light and paradise and what he dreams of. I had a feeling Luka's getting a better idea of Luka was going to be sad. And because the odds were fairly high that Alien Stage as a narrative was going to take the angle that there aren't any real villainous humans. There's just varying degrees of complexity in their behavior, because humanity in the context of Alien Stage are victims. They are the victims. And in all of the complexity that goes with people in this situation, one sure thing that doesn't come with any nuance is that humanity is being subjugated, oppressed, and murdered and forced to murder each other. And they are unequivocally victims. And so there is a sympathetic lens for even the people who seem particularly cunning, violent, etc. And I was really hoping that they would go with that, because that's just super fascinating and comes from a place of such empathy. And I'm really glad that it seems like they've gone with that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in the next round, or even in the last video for this tournament, even in Karma, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a glimpse into a guard, a human guard, and had empathy applied to them as well. Because it's got to be you either, put a gun to these performers' heads, you either kill these performers when they lose, or you're dead. So at this point, wouldn't put it past them. I am going to die if we actually get a glimpse of that in Karma. Oh, and now you have this beautiful shot of, there's Ivan back there, and there's Mizi in her glasses, and Sua with her beautiful eyes. Oh. And then this lovely moment at some kind of, oh my God, that's Hyuna in the background. The couple of times I've watched this through, I've just been fixated on Mizi and Sua here, because first of all, Sua looks beautiful. These gloves, I'm obsessed. And then it's Mizi holding up like this outfit. Oh my God, wait. They're figuring out what to wear. Hyuna's holding up an option in front of, with the hair, it kind of looks like, well, it can't be her brother because they're all older here, and her brother didn't make it until they were older. There are a couple of people back here. The blonde might be Luka. I'd have to see the eyelashes, but Hyuna's clearly helping someone out over here, and then that's why Sua has the gloves, because we're all trying things on for either a performance. No, and she blushes. I can't. Oh, God. Mizi Sua is there. They fuck me up, because they were the gateway into Alien Stage. And it's going to be so hard for Alien Stage to start basically season 2 with something comparable to the way they just opened Alien Stage to begin with. In some ways, you even just can't, because part of that opening with Mizi and Sua was not knowing anything about Alien Stage, and then all of a sudden one of them is fucking dead, and we just learned that they had this beautiful relationship in their adolescence and into their young adulthood. But they so fucked me up, because Sua was such that source of joy for Mizi, but there was no one-sided obsession. They're like the one fucking dynamic. Oh God, no, actually, Luka and Hyuna would qualify as well in a way, but Mizi and Sua were more pure in the sense that they were less complicated. They were just simply friends who were also kind of clearly low-key in love with each other. I mean, look at that expression on Sua's face. Who thought the world of each other and experienced such joy and love in each other's presence. And that got fucking ripped away. And that's so deeply sad and unfair. And they were so beautiful that I just don't know I don't know what Alien Stage does next for their season 2. Because Mizi and Sua are going to be fucking tough to beat And it's already difficult for a season 2 for a project like this anyway, with a dystopia that hits this fucking hard. They're just so beautiful and sad. And I'll never fucking be over it, to the point where this entire music video isn't even really about them, and I just waxed poetic for like 5 minutes just about them and how beautiful they are to me. Anyway, Hyuna's in the background. They're all helping each other out. So to me, that says that they're not in full performance mode yet, because why would you help out the person that you might have to wind up, getting killed, basically? Not that Mizi and Sua wouldn't help each other anyway. I'm just making that assumption about everybody else in the room. So maybe it's some sort of actual like debut, or maybe this is for a performance that we know. And no, go back. We'll get to this very curious shot later. So she's holding up. It doesn't look immediately familiar, but wouldn't that be fucked up if they were... No, they couldn't be getting ready for My Clematis, because Hyuna would be gone already. So maybe this was some kind of debut situation. The point of this moment being Mizi holding up a dress to Sua, and Sua blushing like the beautiful queer girl that she is. Let me go back to grab a lyric. The gentle wind. Oh, the gentle wind sways and dances. They are. Okay. I'm just getting lyrics again. Like a fragile reed. They do sway and dance, don't they? Trembling in fear. Ugh. Gentle wind sways and dances. This is curious. He's obviously doing something for his costume, but look at how fixated and obsessive he is. Wait, is this Till? This is Till. Oh, it's Till being very fixated and obsessive. I don't think we ever see what he's actually spray painting, though, like what the final product is. Yeah, there's a guitar in the background. There's a camera right there. Can't forget, you're always being watched with the icy gaze. Till would do this, though. In trying to get his costuming ready, he would do something like punk and spray paint. Who's sitting at lunch? No, I think this is just a generic shot to give a sense of the daily lives that they had, eating together, figuring out, their outfits, obviously time in the garden, just adding to that context. This, first of all, is a beautiful shot. And it's, see, wide shot. They're like, we're not just going to aim it at a back wall of painted sky. We're always going to show you an angle to it so that there's the constant reminder that it's fake. Flowers! Those are the fucking flowers that's in Luka's goddamn room. Hang on. I am going back. Where the hell is that shot of his room? I'm so right about this. Oh, that's close. The centers of these flowers, wouldn't they be kind of dead though? And dark? The center of these flowers is dark. The other ones were brighter. But God, that's so close. That's got to be it, right? He has those flowers from that night where he got to be close to Hyuna and comfort her. See, it looks like those flowers, it's just the center has wilted and died. Oh. Gentle wind sways and dances as breath sinks deep. Oh, falling asleep in a gentle breeze. Okay. Snow. Fake snow, but snow. As breath sinks deep with quiet longing, these lyrics are beautiful. He's fine. His light is green. He's great. She is in distress. With quiet longing, gentle breeze, quiet longing. Yeah, what the heck were these drawings? Hyuna's obviously here. This seems like it's that one tree that he was sitting under all by himself. There's the rainbow. You'll love to see it. Oh, this is Hyuna and Luka and Hyuna's brother over here. I don't know who these two blondes would be unless it was like Till and Mizi? No, Mizi has pink hair. What am I talking about? But this is very much Hyuna, Luka, and Hyuna's brother. Oh, there's music notes. This being scribbled out is interesting. It looks like maybe it was trying to draw someone, kind of like this head and hair over here, but then like he messed it up. Damn. They've been close and friends and relying on each other since forever. That's Hyuna's brother. And Hyuna laughing in the background. Oh, and there's the lighting in some of these shots is fuck off beautiful. Oh, and then this. Bright and a joyful moment above ground, and then this with a starving child beneath grating underground. It's like I mentioned before, it's the juxtaposition of beautiful moments against horrifying. This mother is emaciated. You can see this line in her face. There are two kids that she's trying to feed. And then someone back here is, I think, trying to keep the lights on. And without a word, you'll embrace. Yeah, and then they are being held and kept in glass prisons, and they're making each other laugh. And they're so fucking young. And they're still finding a sense of play in horrifying circumstances. With quiet longing. And without a word, you'll embrace the sea that sings. It's literally the sea that sings. It is the group. It is this little community of love that they have built as children and young people. It's the sea that sings. You'll embrace the sea that sings. There's Ivan looking at Till. That's on brand. And then that was Mizi and Sua laughing together. You'll embrace the sea that sings. And then we get a deeply fucking gorgeous and emotional orchestral montage of this group and how most of them are fucking dead now. See? Oh, so what's the first thing they show right after the sea that sings? Is that Hyuna? Seems like Hyuna. The skin tone says Hyuna. Having, yeah, her horrifying moment smashed right up next to a moment of free, rebellious revolution. We know because of the glasses. Laughter. Kind of beaten up here, it would seem. A little bit. But freedom. Oh, wait, I need to go through frame by frame. Luka with a bug in his hair. And Hyuna's brother. Luka doesn't look particularly happy in this moment, but that might be because he has literally a bug in his hair. Beautiful green trees. Even if they're in the garden. That is fake. Just advancing here, trying to get to the next. There we go. Sua laughing. That picture on her phone, who is that? The hair's too dark to be Mizi. Maybe it's just a picture of herself? Oh, and she has this collar here for shirt. And why would she have a phone? Is this like pre Earth making contact with aliens? Actually? And some random person behind her. I think it might be. Yeah, like the earring. Oh, this is a beautiful fucking shot of Mizi with the cat ears and the stars on her cheek. More earrings. This is, isn't it? This is all before Alien Stage. And Taylor's drawing. Fixatedly. Focused. Till can be very focused. As rebellious as he may be. Intensely focused. The man can hyperfixate. Or at least he could when he was alive. I can't talk about it. He notices a problem. Ivan with headphones. Happy. Oh, that's Hyuna's brother. It's the eyes. That's Hyuna's brother riding with a really cute boy with glasses. And then a photo of a cute little like panda bear and a monkey and like beautiful food, just taking an Instagram shot. Oh. Rings. Rings? Rings. Rings. Wait. I thought this was Luka. That's an H hanging off of her ear. Wait. Were they? No. They weren't like engaged or some shit. Like what? Don't tell me this. Yeah. Is it just me or do they look older here? Like if this wasn't a flashback to pre-Alien Stage times, then is this just what would have happened? They would have gotten engaged if they had been able to live as they would like. Either way, there's a mutual romantic element that's been introduced. Dear God. Like, I sign up to be hurt, and then I get mad when I'm hurt. But here we are. Yeah, he's going in for a kiss. Oh my god. The flower again? Flower in someone's hair as they're practicing. And then the music at this fucking part, I cannot get over. I think that's Ivan there in the background with his hair. Oh. Mizi sad at having to grab a fish. Having a fish. Is that even like a real fish? Is that stuffed? Is she just having a crying moment? And Sue is there to comfort. And then like drawing. Oh, is that Till? So that was Till rehearsing earlier. And this is Ivan watching Till draw. Because he can't draw on an easel. He can't study art. He has to draw on whatever white surface he can find. Oh. Oh, and then here, Luka clinging on to Hyuna. I wonder if this is the moment where it happened. Did Hyuna's brother try to pull Luka from Hyuna and Luka just snapped and had that violent impulse? Because if a person or even an item, if like one of your few precious sources of joy and security in a life and death oppressive atmosphere is going to be taken from you and you're prone to violent outbursts, this tracks. Is this why it happened? And she doesn't, and Hyuna doesn't. I mean, obviously she has feelings about her brother being killed. Duh. But if she understands Luka and understands the way that he lashes out and how that's not necessarily something he has control over, then she has feelings about what happened, but she doesn't like out and out blame. Like, it's not like he sat there and plotted and then one day attacked her brother and killed him. It's more accidental than just straight up cold first degree murder. And she appreciates that on some level. And then there's Sua. Hi, Sua. And then this. What is this? Oh, they're having to tend to these animals. Ivan and Mizi are over here having to clean this beast's teeth. Actually, I think this might be a beast with two heads. Till's not doing well. Till's not doing well. He's not getting eaten, but he's not doing well with their task. Whereas Mizi and Ivan, either that or is this jealousy? Is this Till jealousy because Mizi is over here laughing with Ivan and Till is in love with Mizi? This love, what? Pentagon? Quadrangle? Something? Is wild in like a very, very tragic and psychologically understandable way. Oh. And then here, oh, a lit up stage that Hyuna's brother's terrified of? Oh, no, wait. That was Luka. This blonde hair? And Hyuna's brother? Did he lash out at him first? Let me go back. Let me see that in motion. Yeah, he just, with whatever's Luka is doing, Hyuna's brother lashed out at him. Maybe this is the moment where he's like, get away from my sister because she's my comfort person too. Fuck. And then this with community, this fucking hot guy. I can't talk about him. The patch on his arm, though, I feel like I've seen a patch like that on other people. Playing some silly card game with the revolutionaries. And oh, what is this? Luka looking at people who are hooked up to all kinds of different fluids and bleeding. There are scars on their bodies. Like they're test subjects. This is feeding into my theory that Luka killed test subjects to put them out of their misery. Because look at this. And then they were all in those tubes at the very beginning. What's the image just before that? Yeah, so we see Hyuna with the revolutionaries, and then just for a split second, we get this. And he looks fairly young. I think he may have been a little bit younger at the beginning in the actual moment when he had killed them. And then we get about halfway through, we're brought back into the immediate moment of what's happening on the stage. And now Till is there, dead. The guards have stepped in to get a handle on the situation. Mizi's too beside herself, obviously, to do anything about the fact that she's kind of been surrounded. Unless... Are these guards or revolutionaries? I would think they would be guards. They snuck in as guards, excuse me. It's difficult to tell how forward you're going when the image is still. 1 second. Come on. Ugh. I have such a broken heart for Mizi. And that's what they want. That's what they want me to feel. They want me to feel absolutely fucking tragic about Mizi. And they succeeded. Maybe a little bit too well. Thinking of Sua in this moment, she's lost Till. And she's immediately reminded of how she lost Sua. She keeps losing people. This wings drenched in longing moment is such a fucking lyric. I can't even fucking talk about it. Because it's like wings drenched in longing. Well, these people confer. Wings drenched in longing. Was it finally take flight? Unfold at last. Wings drenched in longing. Weighed down by the longing to see each other. They unfold at last because we've seen each other. There's no more longing. You're here. So I'm no longer weighed down by the longing because I'm actually getting what I want, which is to see you. This is so fucking sad. Luka so taken by seeing Hyuna that he's not registering. The tactician, the logic guy, is so caught up in a moment of emotion that he doesn't care that there's a gun to his head. And it flashes back to that same childlike blushing fucking innocence like when he was younger. He has blood splattered on his cheek though. He's so fucking happy. Yeah. He sees Hyuna right after killing Hyuna's brother. And that's all he cares about, is that he's seen Hyuna. He may not have even really fully realized what he just did. He just didn't want to be taken from Hyuna. And Hyuna's brother lashed out in that one moment. And Luka won the confrontation, as Luka tends to do. But Hyuna's standing here looking at her dead little brother. And just like he walked to her before, with no regard as to what was happening around him, he's doing it again. Let me go back for lyrics. Yeah, wings drenched in longing, unfold at last. As he walks toward her. Unfold at last like a fragile sprout. Oh, she looks up and sees him. Moving toward her. Too small to hold. Had they taken the stage? Had they taken the stage and you're watching my brain try to figure this out in real time. Had the rebellion taken the stage, but nobody there knows Luka like Hyuna does. But they would have had instructions that we're picking up Luka and Till. Regardless, she sees that he's still moving despite there being a gun to his head, and she knows what's about to happen. Going back once again for a lyric thing. So the wings are spreading like a fragile sprout. Too small to hold. As he just walks innocently towards her. So innocently. And she fucking takes the bullet for him. You're fucking joking. Oh, wait. Show me that. Show me that lighting change. And, you know, the emotional pain. Ugh. Oh. It hurts. Just cuts to black for a second. This rocket shot is curious. Because on one hand, for me, it's like they talked, or they mention in the beginning how, you know, we used to look at space as like so holy, and we used to have such like reverence for it, and we wanted to explore, and then we did, and we got this. We got the alien stage instead. So this rocket taking off is like the moment that humanity launches and winds up in the alien stage. Brings it all back to the alien stage of it all. But then it also gives me another impression that we'll get to when it comes back at a key moment at the very end. Scattered sorrow. What a perfect lyric to put on this image of Hyuna having to lose people to disease, lose members of the rebellion to to disease that for all intents and purposes could be perfectly curable in this world, but because they don't have access, they're just watching friends die. And like, he's missing teeth, he's got missing hair. I don't know, the missing hair and the way that he looks sickly and like the patch right here, it sort of strikes me as reminiscent of AIDS a little bit. I can't remember if there's tooth loss with AIDS actually, but the hair loss and this weakness and the way of the general deterioration kind of reminds me of AIDS. Oh, and he's trying to smile through it. Fuck. As dawn rises. Wait, sways and dances. Scattered sorrow sways and dances as dawn rises. Which just speaks to the entire juxtaposition thing that they have going on. And the thing that makes this so brutal and emotional and effective is because, yes, they live in particularly extreme circumstances, and grabbing joy where you can find it and finding community even in terribly fucking difficult times is all heightened because of the extremeness of the situation. But name one thing that I just said that doesn't apply to all of us all the time. That's more or less just the human experience in this world that we occupy. It comes with a shit ton of pain, but we embrace the shit ton of joy and community, especially during particularly awful moments like, I don't know, the state of so much of the world right now. I know my country. And it's the way that this speaks to a universal fact about life in general and how they've heightened it all with this beautiful montage. And they might jam it all up together by virtue of editing. But when you think back over your life, the montage of all of our lives essentially looks like this. Oh, so it cuts to she is watching someone die. Whereas she may have been watching someone die in that explosion that took her leg. She's watching someone die, and then it smashes to her having survived. And she has a prosthetic. And these two guys are here for her in the hospital. And he's kind of somewhat tragically eyeing her new leg. Yeah, and it's flashing back to her actually losing that in that explosion as dawn rises. Unshaken and sure. The dawn that rises is unshaken and sure. Fuck me. The hope that rises from shit circumstances is solid and sure. She lost against who? Who was that? Oh, just someone. It's not anybody that we know. We just know that she lost. And then we come back to this moment where he's fine, but we actually get to see her distraught. Oh. Is this the day that Luka killed her brother? And so he's fine because he's with Hyuna. But she is stricken with grief and in the immediate aftermath, horror. Is it? Was there snow falling in that scene? I don't think there was. That might still be the emotional through line they're trying to go with in this moment, though. And then we go back to the beginning. And without a word, you'll embrace the sea that sings. The hope that rise so unshaken and sure. And with him, you embrace the sea that sings. I keep fucking... And he's been... From the moment he saw her and she helped him. And she was kind to him when he was ignored by everybody else. Oh, God. And now he moved. And she's dead. So it's a good thing that she's about to give her final words to him as a speech about forgiving yourself, because he's going to have to take that to heart. Just about this, just about Hyuna getting killed, let alone everything else he's done. Yeah, she had to keep... Yeah, she's always been, I have to keep moving. There's the rebellion. There's things to do. I have shit to do. But you are my weak point. Hell, she may even be talking about how she had to keep moving forward. She didn't... Like, maybe coming back for him, trying to get him out, was stupid in the grand scheme of things. In this whole rebellion, maybe trying to come back for him was stupid. But he's her weakness. You were always my one and only fucking weakness. Live with love. See this. Oh, embrace the pain, the frailty of the moment. So unbearably shameful. These last words. But no, so aside from generally associating this, rocket with, humanity winding up in the alien stage, this also, like, from the way that the rocket rises and then I forget what they're called, the boosters, these engines that always fall off whenever a rocket is launched, because they need a bunch of power to get it up off the ground, but then as it rises, it no longer needs that anymore. It needs to drop it because of weight. Because now it just needs to be lighter so that it can actually get up the rest of the way into space and into orbit. And so these engines falling away is like Luka's really on his own now. Hyuna used to be out there, but as these engines are falling away, she is dying, leaving only him to continue to rise on the alien stage if he's going to survive. Embrace all that pain and frailty. Forgive yourself endlessly. You have to endlessly forgive yourself because everything begins from there. There is so much wisdom in that. And this tackles forgiving yourself in such a unique way. I don't think I've ever really seen anything dial down on a theme of forgiving yourself like this has. It's come about in such a specific context, and not even one that you would necessarily think that all of a sudden forgiving yourself would become a central theme of one of these music videos and in a character from this universe. Because it really, you know, we deal with redemption arcs a lot in fiction, and people seeking forgiveness from others. But off the top of my head, I can't really think of not many redemption arcs seem to dial in on forgiving yourself for the shit that you've pulled. And it doesn't feel like that's a topic that's really discussed a lot in fiction. Certainly not as much as getting others to forgive you. And there are just certain tropes and topics in fiction that we really gravitate to over others, obviously. But man, you have to endlessly forgive yourself because you are endlessly doing things that require forgiveness. And if you just let that shame and regret eat away at you, that's not going to serve anyone. Now, there's like a role for shame in life, of course. But having it drag you down, it's such a worse way to live. And the only way that you can let that go is by forgiving yourself and letting it go. And it's an endless process. Because exactly like she fucking says, everything begins from forgiving yourself. Because it's only once you forgive yourself that you can move on to something better. That you can build on that to something more full of joy and maybe making better decisions in the future and learning from it. All of that only begins when you are endlessly forgiving yourself. And landing that at the feet of someone like Luka, who, if I have gotten any of this right, is absolutely someone who has done awful things. But it's almost like under the layers of forgiveness and everything that's happening, and Hyuna is dying and the alien stage and all of that, this seems like another subtle nod at remembering who the enemy is. You have to forgive yourself for everything that you've done, because look at the circumstances that you are in. And in that sense, the fault doesn't necessarily and completely lie at your feet, because you gotta remember who the real fucking enemy is. And that is not you. You are a victim in these circumstances. Holy shit. This might be the most complex music video yet, which is kind of saying something. And my mind is just continually blown about how they've been able to weave this narrative in such a short amount of time. And that's one of the reasons why I decided not to go with the master doc at every step of the way, because I really wanted to have the experience of watching it all first, even though there's supplementary material, a lot of it at least released at the time that the music videos dropped, because I was curious to see how well these music videos tell the story on their own. And it's fuck off batshit crazy what they've been able to pull off with me knowing nothing outside of the music videos. That changes a little bit going from this to Karma, from what I understand, but we'll get to that in a second.
그때부터 시작이야.
Everything begins from endlessly forgiving yourself. Fuck you. And then this is rude. This is rude. Hyuna's gone. She's fucking dead. And I don't know what the fuck is about to happen to Mizi. What is she about to just snap and go feral? Is she about to just lose her mind? Because she just keeps losing everyone she loves. We started with Sua. And then, just a minute ago in the timeline, Till is now lying dead in her arms. And she just heard Hyuna get fucking shot. What the hell is this girl gonna do besides lose her mind? I'm concerned for her. Also, another potential girlfriend's dead. So, like, can we be nice to Mizi for once, please? Ugh, it fucking hurts my feelings. Like, if Mizi's story ends tragically, I'll be beside myself. If there's something resembling a happy ending for her in all of this, I will have a full mental and emotional breakdown. Because I'm kind of expecting it to just end tragically for Mizi. Because of course. But if she gets happy, any kind of something good for her, that's when it's gonna get real ugly crying up in here. Ugh. I'm blown away by what they've given us for Luka. It was partially what I was expecting, with he has been softened a little bit in understanding him. But at the same time, you know, he is violent. He did kill Hyuna's little brother, even if it's just impulse on his part. And it's not something that he can, like, readily control. Because even though as smart as they communicated to us as he is, with all of his tactician shit, he does clearly have moments of emotional impulse, resulting in people being dead because he killed them, or people being dead because he stepped towards them with a very innocent type of love, disregarding the gun to his head. I'm so fucked up by all of this as I hit the mic. I'm so fucked up. But I'm so excited to finally get to the last video next week. It's my understanding that there's a bit of there's a comic that I need to read in order for everything in Karma to make sense. So I will be reading that, and I'm not going to react to it, because reacting to a comic is kind of tricky, and also I've never done it before. So I'm going to take notes as I read the comic, and then we'll start the Karma video with any notes that I have about the comic that bridges Viga and Karma. Speaking of which, what the fuck does Viga mean? I remember looking at the definition, but I have forgotten it because that was weeks ago, and I actually meant to look it up before starting this video. Did I? No. Cradle. Viga is German for cradle. The most obvious part of the interpretation is literally how Mizi is cradling Till. But then also, cradle speaks to innocence and comfort and youth. And that's perfect for what was truly at the core of Luka in this moment. And just speaking to the cradle and safety of the community, of the other kids, of finding joy among the... No, that's so thematically perfect. That's disgustingly well titled. I've got to fucking go at this point. I have to go. I'll be back as soon as I can. Hopefully next week. No, not technically next week for me, because I actually have some time off because I have a oral surgery coming up, dentist stuff. So, but I'll be back as soon as I fucking can with Karma to see how season 1 ends. And I'm presuming how these characters' stories end, and that we just pick up with a whole new batch of characters in season 2, maybe, but I'm not sure. So I'll be back as soon as I can for Karma. And in the meantime, please remember to forgive yourself as part of taking care of yourself.